Hello again, great to see you. I'm Derek Marks and this is the CruiseAway show. This is your passport and booking service for some of the biggest and best cruise and stay holidays around the world. Every day we bring those holidays to your screens and home in on a different theme or cruise line. You'll find a huge selection, thousands in fact, if you head now to our website at cruiseaway.com.au, and you can call our team toll free 7 days a week to book any cruise anywhere in the world. Right, in this show, you deserve the best of everything, and that's what I'll deliver to you in spade loads as we set sail with Azamara Cruises. Their smaller, charming ships offer you the ultimate impersonal service on board, with a focus on no-fuss, high-quality cruising adventures, where you stay longer in ports and enjoy so much more included on your luxury journey. So let's welcome you to the Azamara lifestyle by showing you around their ships and taking you near and far. We're going to be sailing around our shores and over to Bali and Indonesia, to Singapore on an immersive 22 nights of luxury for next February. And we've got a Melbourne departure to a deeper, more intensive New Zealand itinerary with Azamara coming up next January. But I want you to see the ships and tell you about their wonderful offering. So let's get started with a New Zealand treasures trip that starts next Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, and we'll fly you over from Sydney to Auckland in New Zealand for a relaxing and romantic 2-night hotel stay. Oh, brilliant. You'll be able to book a lovely restaurant for just the two of you and have a lovely romantic meal, and it's the start of your luxury holiday. You can go sailing in the Waitemata Harbour as well. There's a lovely cruise that you can take there to see Auckland skylines and the landmarks. There's the Laneway Festival that's going on here as well, which is a popular music festival at this time of the year. Now, after a couple of nights in Auckland, it's time to cruise, and now we are on board with Azamara. This is the Azamara Onward we are boarding this time for 15 nights. Now, with Azamara, what you've got is a low number of passengers on board to a high number of crew, which is amazing. You've got a ship which has maybe only 700 or so people on board, but can actually carry many more than that. They deliberately keep the occupancy low, so you're enjoying more of the ship. Basically, you've got more space, you've got more crew to look after you, and you've got more attention lavished upon you. That's what these ships are about, the ultimate in relaxation. Now, you can take as read, by the way, that select drinks, international beers, wines and spirits are part of your complete cruise offering. Your hotel service charges, tips, gratuities, call them what you will, they are part of the offering. You have wonderful destination celebrations, and that means that as you make your way, whatever the area of the world is, there will be an element of what happens locally which actually comes on board in some way. They also do something called As Amazing events on board Azamara, and they are brilliant. They are the chance for Azamara to take you to an experience or a performance or a particular event that literally money cannot buy. They've been working with teams locally around the world to create very special surprises as part of your cruise. Now, I'll talk more about life on board as we go through the shows, but we're just getting a little flavour here of the ships themselves and just how relaxed and comfortable and how they're spending longer in every single port as well. And they'll go into smaller ports as well, which is amazing. So we're cruising out of Auckland. We have 15 nights of cruising, heading first to Tauranga. Now, you can explore Rotorua's geothermal wonders here and a Maori cultural performance, all in one excursion. I'm going to talk to you about excursions which you can treat yourself to with Azamara as we go through the ports. Next, we head to Napier. Now, you can take a guided tour of the Art Deco architecture here that defines the city, or a wine tasting experience maybe, because this is Hawke's Bay. This is very, very famous wine region. Next, we head to Wellington, where you can ride the historic Wellington cable car for the views across the city and the Botanic Garden. You can do that in one single tour. There's the Te Papa Museum as well for history and culture. Next, we cruise along to Picton. It's another wine region as well. Of course, the Marlborough wines come from here, the Sauvignon Blancs here, so you can visit a local winery on a tour, but it's also amazing for whale watching, believe it or not, in this part of the world. Next to Christchurch, where you can stroll through the Botanic Gardens, enjoy a punch ride on the Avon River, which is quite a nice kind of traditional way of seeing everything very, very gently, nicely and romantically as well. Remember, we're talking, you know, this started on Valentine's Day, this. Dunedin is next, and we're here for an overnight, so 2 full days. So maybe a couple of excursions you can take in here. There's Larnach Castle, of course, the only castle in New Zealand, or the Otago Peninsula to go and see the penguin colonies. A couple of days at sea. We're heading closer to home now in Hobart, in Tas, of course. Overnight here as well. You might want to go to the Salamanca market with the local crafts and the produce there. There's also the Museum of the Old and New Art, Mona, which might be worth heading around as well and getting some wonderful pictures of a day at sea. And we are into Eden next. Oh, look at those koalas. They're so cute. Aren't they beautiful? Lots to do here. There's the Killer Whale Museum, for instance, which showcase the whaling history in this region, or lovely coastal walks to enjoy. We come into Sydney and we stay overnight on board, which is amazing. It's a nice way to kind of round off. Of course, you will sail in under the harbour bridge there. You'll be there with the full view of the Opera House and everything else. Quite nice, because these Azamara ships always turn heads when they come in to Sydney. And then, of course, we will disembark from there. What a lovely, lovely adventure. And you will just treasure life on board, because bear in mind, because you are cruising with a smaller number of passengers here, around about 700 passengers or so, which I think is absolutely brilliant, I have to say. It means that when you arrive in a port, you're not waiting in a long line to be called group by group to actually go on tours. It means you can get straight off the ship, and you'll be, rather than being there for just maybe 4 or 5 hours, in a lot of these ports you're there for 8 or 10 hours or more, which is incredible. So this is the ultimate Valentine's adventure for New Year, starting on the 14th of February. Enjoying New Zealand in sheer luxury with Azamara. You'll fly from Sydney to Auckland on Valentine's Day, enjoy 2 nights there in a hotel in the city before you join the Azamara onward with less than 700 passengers. 15 nights of that indulgent cruising, enjoying that small ship luxury with so many plus points. You're spending longer in the ports, enjoying fine dining right the way through, when and where you want, select drinks included right the way through the cruise, as you enjoy exploring those great times on board, and then cruising New Zealand, Tas and our own shores as well, with overnight stays in Dunedin in New Zealand, Hobart in Tasmania, and indeed at Sydney at the end of the sailing. There's great entertainment, relaxing times and great destination celebrations on board, and the as amazing evening events which money cannot buy. And best of all, the end of the cruise is right back here in Sydney. Amazing. Let's have a look at your price tag then, because you think he's been leading up to a big price tag, and I really haven't actually. Not at all, because if you put the Azamara price tag next to a similar regular cruise offering where you upgrade to the inclusions that would match what you're getting here with Azamara, and it competes very, very favourably indeed. You can book this with a deposit today as well. That will secure the price tag for you, and you are going to have the greatest time on board with Azamara, because the attention to detail will become intoxicating, and you will love cruising with fewer people and enjoying more. Here's the overview of everything that is included. And Azamara are so good. Honestly, they have such an amazing reputation. They have just 4 ships in their fleet, and they're almost all identical. So, and they cruise the world, and they cruise unusual destinations as well, which I think is great. And when you go into a port, you know, sometimes when you go into a port, sometimes you need to make arrangements to get into the actual city that the port is for. Well, Azamara, where your port is not necessarily close to the port town itself, they'll provide the shuttles there for you. And remember, you're not waiting, you're not queuing, you're spending longer in that port. So there's less clock watching as well, and you're enjoying so much more when you're on board. And remember, a deposit today will secure your offer for you. If you want to know more about the ship, more about the facilities on board, again, check all that out on our website at cruiseaway.com.au. And if you've got any questions, then just speak to our team. Remember, CruiseAway have been in the cruise business for over 25 years, and cruise is what we do. Sure, we book hotel stays, we book tours around the world and everything else, but our major is cruise. It's what we know. Our team have been on the ships. They know the deals. They know the cruises really, really well. So take advantage of that knowledge, because it really is great knowledge, decades of knowledge. 1300 411 968. Right, next up. And this is next February. We're going for 24 nights right now to join Azamara Pursuit, this time in Sydney, for a wonderful over 3 weeks of cruising. You are going to love this, and ultimately we are heading from Sydney to Singapore. Now, you are going to just love. I mean, I really do mean love life on board. If you look at the facts and figures, first of all, you can see the accommodation here. The accommodation is just dreamy. It's exactly what you imagine it would be for this kind of caliber of cruise. Everything is there that you need. It's more spacious than your average cruise accommodation, as are all of the public spaces, all of the restaurants. I love the fact that when it comes to dining, you're not fixed to a certain dining time. It's not, you know, at the dining room at 7:15 or 6:15 or 8:30 or whatever. You don't have any of that. You turn up when you want and where you want, which I think is great. You have a huge choice in terms of dining as well. Although we're talking about a smaller ship, that does not mean that you have less choices. You have incredible dining. So let's just call it your main dining is open seating. You go when you want to, and is the most incredible handcrafted, freshly prepared cuisine. You also have more casual options. If you want to, you have the Windows Cafe, but even that has themed dinners. And actually, even in the more casual dining, you still have that lovely table service for drinks, because drinks are included as part of your Azamara offering. You can see you've got wonderful shopping if you want to do that while you're on board. So you've got all of the trappings of a larger cruise ship experience, but you've just got it enhanced and elevated on an Azamara cruise, which is great. So let's start our cruise out of Sydney, 22 nights. So a day at sea, we're in Melbourne. We've got the Yarra Valley wineries nearby, of course. We've got the vibrant laneways with all the street art and the boutique cafes there. Scenic drive along the Great Ocean Road. They're all bookable as excursions with Azamara. A day at sea, and we're in Adelaide. Now, we're here for 2 full days, and I do mean full days as well. You'll notice that you arrive in port very, very early, and you will stay for the whole day and the whole of the next day as well, which is great. Barossa Wine Valley, of course, is here. The Central Market in Adelaide is worth exploring. You've got plenty of time as well. A couple of days at sea, we're in Albany. The whaling station, of course, is here, which is very, very historic. You've got the rugged coastline of Torndirrup National Park, which lots of people like to go out and explore in this part of Oz, before we head towards Margaret River and Bustleton. And the Bustleton Jetty here is great, one of the largest and longest in the southern hemisphere. You've got that wonderful cave that you see there in the top picture there with the stalactites, and lots more. Next, we're in Fremantle. We're here for 2 days as well, so an overnight stay, arriving on day 1, leaving on day 2. So again, a couple of different experiences you can have here. You can even head into Perth and have dinner in the evening if you want to, if there's maybe friends or family or colleagues that you want to catch up with in different parts of Oz. It's brilliant. Then we're heading away from our shores, 3 days at sea to Benoit on Bali. You can take in a traditional Balinese dance performance here. There's the Uluwatu Temple, of course, to see here right up on the cliff, and so much more. To Selakan Bawang we head next. There's lush rice terraces here. There's the lovely traditional villages in northern Bali. You can go dolphin watching, which is a magical experience here along the coast. Across to Surabaya we head next. and the House of Sampurna you can head to learn about Indonesia's cigarette industry, or visit the Heroes Monument and Museum for another glimpse into the history. And of course, you've got the volcano Mount Semeru in the background there as well. To next, Semarang, and you can take a city tour to the Dutch colonial architecture here in the city and the wonderful vibrant markets. You'll have plenty of time to do that. And then of course there's the famous Borobudur temple. A couple of days at sea, and we finish with an overnight on board in Singapore, and then you check into a city hotel for 2 nights to enjoy. A couple of things that you might want to do while you're in Singapore. There's a guided boat tour to the Keelongs here, traditional floating fish farms and mangrove swamps on a wonderful sea adventure. There's a wonderful Katong Chiat food adventure where you can discover authentic local dishes and explore the heritage district. There's the Henderson Waves. Oh, there's Gardens by the Bay. There's so much to enjoy, of course, as we know and love in Singapore, and it's quite nice to spend some time in there. Quite often, of course, Singapore is kind of a layover, isn't it? We're laying over because we're flying somewhere else. So it's really lovely to spend some time there before we come back. This is such a lovely holiday, isn't it? And you think about the calibre in terms of this cruise as well. It's just amazing. I mean, it is your cruise of dreams. If you've been cruising, you know, with any of the larger major cruise lines over years and years and years and having a great time, but finding yourself just feeling like you wanted things to be just a little bit low key. If you have that feeling sometimes when you're on a cruise that, oh, this would be lovely if it wasn't for all of the people, then Azamara is definitely worth having a look at, because they are just incredible. And you meet the most amazing people as well. So this Dreamaway has you in pursuit of over 3 weeks of the finest small ship holiday luxury cruising with Azamara next February, joining Pursuit in Sydney for a dreamy, more inclusive cruising experience around the shores of Oz, off to Bali and Indonesia, enjoying more time in port, shuttles into the port where you need them as well, longer days to explore, and so many amazing things to enjoy on board. The fine dining with menus that reflect the areas you're cruising into. Select drinks are all yours from the minute you step on board, unlimited Wi-Fi, amazing shore excursion program which you can indulge in. Your service charges are included, and you've got the most amazing destination celebrations and as amazing unique events to enjoy as well. So your Azamara sailing, of course, ends in Singapore, where you'll spend the last night of the cruise and a 2-night hotel stay as well before your flight back to Sydney. Oh my word. You would think, wouldn't you, we are going to be talking about tens of thousands of dollars, and we really are not at all. Because yes, this is a considered sum to spend on a cruise experience, but then if you think about what is included and the fact that you really are visiting these places, you're not just popping in and popping out, you are spending real time, and it's quality time as well. I think that can't be underestimated. You're taking a fascinating trip here, and it's all about quality time with you, your family, your partner, whoever it is. It's that real escape of a holiday. And honestly, if you want to know more about the Azamara experience, so much more detail on our website at cruiseaway.com.au. Let's have a look at everything that's included here. Again, a deposit will secure your place today, remember. You can also spread the cost if you're interested on this. I'm saying this merely because this applies to any of the offers that you see here at CruiseAway. If you want to split down the payment into equal amounts on any of our holidays, we have something in place called Travel Pay Later. Talk to our team about it. It's very, very simple to sign up to, and you pay for your holiday in either 6 or 12 monthly installments, and that might be that you're paying long beyond when you've actually been on the holiday as well. It makes budgeting so simple. But remember, with these cruises with Azamara, you are looking at less than 700 passengers on board. I mentioned that partly because availability is very limited on these cruises as well. So call the team now, 1300 411 968. I love walking you through these experiences, and I love knowing about the experiences as well. I mean, the prospect of one of these luxury cruises is really, truly enjoyable. And it's only when you do it once for the first time that you just get it. it becomes a whole new way of cruising, even if you've been cruising for 20, 30, 40 years right now. Let's take another one. This time January next year, it's 18 nights, and we're joining Azamara Pursuit in Melbourne this time for a wonderful 16-night sailing, and we are off to New Zealand, and we're going to take a really immersive look in New Zealand. Of course, the other huge bonus, and I know I keep mentioning this, but it makes such a difference. You spend longer in those ports. Azamara ships, on average, spend about 80% of their time in port, which I think is great. Really, really good, because it means that, one, you can really see a place without having to rush to see things. You know, quite often you take whistle stop tours, don't you? I'll stop here, we'll quickly take a photo, move on to the next thing, take a photo there, and then back on the ship. And it all feels a little bit rushed sometimes. And Azamara is the complete antithesis of that. Azamara is all about chilling out, relaxing, enjoying. It's about having fun. It's about dancing and having a party. It's about all of those things if you want, but it's like the ultimate luxury escape. And you don't really have to do anything for yourself. Everything happens around for you. I mean, on board, you've got so many different choices. They have these wonderful destination celebrations where they might bring an element of what happens locally on board the ship as a nice little surprise. They have these as amazing events as well, which are brilliant. And that can be that Azamara take you off to a performance or an event or to something in one of the destinations that you can't buy a ticket for. It's something that's so very different. And that again is the Azamara difference. Their excursion program, by the way, lots and lots of different excursion choices in every one of the ports. You can choose to indulge in those if you want to, or you can simply explore as you want to, having more time. So out of Melbourne, we take a day at sea first, and we are in Eden. Of course, very famous for Ben Boyd's Tower, and Potteroo Place as well, which you've got to go and visit and see those wonderful koalas. Next, we call into Sydney for an overnight, which is really nice. You might fancy taking a restaurant and taking your other half for a nice romantic meal in the city of the evening. Although, to be honest with you, so intoxicating, the wonderful dining that is on board as well. Don't forget, drinks are part of your offering while you're on board with Azamara, as well as is Wi-Fi. Couple of days at sea, and now we are heading to New Zealand, starting in the Fiordland National Park, which is wonderful. We take a cruise through Milford Sound, and that's all about just taking in the spectacular views of this natural wonder. It is just breathtaking. Honestly, it's wonderful. And that takes us to Dunedin, of course, which has that little flavour of Scotland in there, with the only castle in New Zealand, Larnock Castle there. And of course, plenty of places where you can go and visit from Dunedin as well. There are wonderful shore excursions available. Next to Christchurch, you can take a nice kayak safari here, which would be, again, quite a nice thing to do. Obviously, it ties in very nicely with your cruise, but these are very fresh air parts of the world to go and explore and enjoy, and of course you'll have longer to do that. Next to Wellington, you've got the famous cable car there where you can see all the views across the city. There's the Te Papa Museum as well if you want to look back through time and history in this part of the world. Picton is next, where sea kayaking in the Marlborough Sounds is very popular, and of course New Zealand itself is just this haven of green, lush landscapes everywhere. So take these tours out into the countryside. They're well worth doing. To Napier we head next. You've got the Art Deco architecture in the city here. You can take a guided tour there. And of course, we are talking wine country as well. Gisborne is next. Now there's the Eastwood Hill Arboretum here, which is a national arboretum of New Zealand, which is again just incredible with trees from around the world. And there's a Maori heritage tour here as well. From Gisborne, we head to Tauranga. Of course, Rotorua close to here. You can visit the Hobbiton movie set for a magical experience there, which is again wonderful. And again, you can step into Maori culture here in the local villages too, which I think is really nice. The delicious Bay of Islands. I mean, this is a real treat. A dolphin watching cruise here is available as one of the excursions. You've got the Waitangi Treaty Grounds here to hear about the founding history of New Zealand as well. Now, we disembark in Auckland, and this is where we actually have a 2-night hotel stay, which is incredible. Now, in Auckland itself, you've got fantastic museums. There's the Auckland Zoo there as well, which is set in lush parkland. There's also the Waterview Reserve Oakley Park, where you can simply just have a lovely stroll, or maybe just take a picnic and just chill out. You've got 2 nights in a hotel there before we then fly you back to Melbourne. Do you know, walking through that itinerary has just made me feel so relaxed, because this is all about lush scenery, green countryside, you know, sailing through lush mountain landscapes and really diving in deeper around New Zealand. This is really comprehensive. I love it, and there's so much to it. It really is good. It's a great way to start the new year. A treat of an Azamara More included sailing out of Melbourne on the Pursuit for 16 nights of cruising in New Zealand, spending longer, as I said before, in lesser visited ports, and enjoying that relaxing small ship luxury with more crew to passengers available, and spending longer in those ports with shuttles in the ports where they need to be, more time to explore and enjoy, and lots of wonderful inclusions on board. Let me show you the price tag immediately, because this is so good, and there is so much included while you are on board as well. Drinks and Wi-Fi and special events. I mean, honestly, there's even a self-service laundry on there as well. So when you are like this, taking a longer cruise, you can even take care of your own laundry, and you can do it yourself. No extra charge whatsoever. It's great. You'll have the greatest time. When the journey, of course, comes to an end in Auckland on the cruise, you've got time to relax and explore there as well, because you have a 2-night stay before you then fly back to Melbourne. It's incredible. Here's everything that's included. You can plan now and book this with a low deposit today. But of course, the sooner you call our team, the sooner we can guarantee that price tag for you and get this in the diary, because this is for next January. So what a great way to start the new year. Have you ever travelled around New Zealand? It's funny, isn't it? Because it's, you know, it's almost on the doorstep, and yet it's always those things that are really close to us that we never take the time to go and really see and really discover. And it's so beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely country. And it's nice to enjoy it in sheer luxury with everything taken care of for you. You will absolutely love an Azamara cruise. And again, what I would say to you, as I've said a couple of times in this show, if you want to know more about the Azamara experience, you want to know more about the ship, you want to have a closer look at the accommodation, then just for instance, just pop that reference into our website right now. You can book by cruise line on our website anyway at CruiseAway.com.au, but go and have a look, because you can tour the ships, explore them, have a look at the accommodation, have a look at, you know, the square footage of your cabin, everything that's included there. And you will love it. And lots more information about the destinations is there as well. Listen, I'm out of time. I could talk to you about 100,000 Azamara experiences. They're all on our website right the way around the world as well. CruiseAway.com.au. I'll see you back here soon to Cruise Away again. Bye-bye.